Okay, in this video I'm going to polish some Bakelite backgammon checkers. I've got 4 different sets here, 3 different sizes. I've got 1.75 inch, 1.5. So they're each going to require a slightly different handling, but the process is basically the same. Now, the first things you need to do is protect yourself. Of course, Bakelite can be toxic or carcinogenic, so you want to use an air mask. You'll also want to use gloves, and you'll also want to use glasses. As well as that, you will need a polisher. I use a dual action rotary polisher by SPTA. It's very highly rated on Amazon. It's about $80. It comes with a bunch of accessories, polishing compound, pads, and the like, and I highly recommend it, as do a lot of auto detailers. Now, to provide coarseness or grit, you're going to need to apply, this is the foam pad that you use on top of the polisher. It connects with Velcro just like that. What you do is you apply polish either to the pad or to your piece, and polish or compound, and then you polish away. Sounds very simple. There is a bit of a process to it. First things first, the polishing pad, they come in 3 different hardnesses, hard, medium, soft, like the 3 bears. I tend to use the medium pad. It doesn't seem to make much of a difference. The polisher also comes with buffing pads like this, and a buffing mitt, and you're going to need some dust-free cloths as well, and you're going to need compound. The SPTA comes with SPTA's polishing compounds, and they have the heavy cut and the final cut. Difference is the heavy cut is like coarse sandpaper. The final cut is like very fine grit sandpaper. It's obvious what they do. I also had on hand and have tried Novus, which is a plastic polish that you may be familiar with. I used the number 2 and the number 3 fine scratch remover and heavy scratch remover. Basically the same thing as the heavy cut and the final cut of the SPTA. I find for very light polishing, the Novus works well, especially with hand polishing, but with a powered polisher, I prefer to use Meguiar's compound. There are 2 compounds that I use: the Ultra Pro Speed compound, this one, and the Ultimate compound, this one. I find that the Ultra Pro Speed will remove, it's an extra heavy cut, so it will remove deep scratches over time. However, it doesn't get to as fine a polish as the Ultimate compound. So I will often use the Ultra Pro Speed to begin with, and then switch to the Ultimate compound for medium to finishing work. In addition to that, you may need a beverage to stay hydrated, but you'll want to do this outdoors, of course, for safety's sake. And with that said, let's move outdoors. You can see that this checker is kind of dull. It's not bad, but it's not glowing. This side is pretty bad. So we'll polish this up right now. I've got my little setup here on the ground. What I do is I take a little polishing compound. I'm going to use the Ultimate on this since it doesn't have any real deep scratches. I take my polishing compound and I apply just a bit here. This is the worst side, so I'll start on this side. And I apply it to the checker, not to the pad. Be careful, it may spray off a bit. And this is basically the technique. You just gently hold it against the pad, and I just gently move it around. I count to 30, because I like to use about 20 to 25 seconds, and that's how I do my timing. We're at about 20 now. Okay, now there's a definite difference there. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get behind the camera and make sure you can see the difference here. It's definitely a lot shinier. Got a lot better reflection on it. Shows off the color a lot better than the other side, which just looks dull. Now we're going to do the other side and the edges. One thing I caution you against, don't do this on concrete the way I'm doing it, because if your checker flies out of your hand, it's going to hit concrete and could chip, which could be devastating. So use some kind of padding underneath your workstation. And we'll get on with this. Let's see here, we haven't done that side yet. So seconds. And let's call it right there. It looks pretty good. Now we're going to do the edges. I'm just going to use the remaining compound that's on the head. I just rotate the checker with my fingers and grip it tightly with my thumb and middle finger. Let's take a look at our results. First of all, we get all the compound off the lint-free cloth. And let's see if you can see this in the light. There we go. Now that's a polished checker. Let's see if we can grab the light a little bit better here. There we go. Well, I can see myself in the checker, so not a lot of marbling on this checker. There's some beautiful checker though, nice and weighty, 13 millimeters thick, 44.5 millimeters in diameter, and now nicely polished. That's all there is to it. Okay, this is the difference between a polished checker and an unpolished checker. On the right is the unpolished checker. On the left is the checker we just polished. Hopefully you can see the difference. The checker on the right has a lot of slight surface scratches in it. And although it looks okay from a distance, it doesn't quite pop like the checker on the left. So that's all there is to it. Be careful with your checkers and enjoy yourself polishing them up.